Greetings, conscious entrepreneurs. I wanted to just come really quick and give you some Tuesday motivation. And it's a quote that I read before from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that I think is a good one to memorize and say to yourself often. He says, "Oh Allah," which means that this is his prayer. "Oh Allah, please let me continue to be a believer. And let no man deceive me and take away my reward." Let me read it again. "Oh Allah, please let me continue to be a believer, and let no man deceive me and take away my reward." That seems so obvious. So obvious that when you have to ask yourself, wow, the messenger said that? That's a prayer. Sounds like a prayer to me. But then I start thinking about how easy it is for us to get deceived. And I start thinking about being in line, right? Let's say you're in line for a product or service and you're the 12th person in line. But let's say there's 100 people behind you. You see this oftentimes, like when a new computer comes out or new shoes come out, or I was driving down the street in Chicago a couple months ago and I saw the line for Louis Vuitton all the way down the block. That kind of line, right? Where you may have stayed in line all night. And then somebody walks up to you and tricks you out of your space in line. And when you come back, because you want, what you're in line for, they trick you, you get out of line, you go do whatever it is they tricked you and told you needed to go do. Hey, you need to go pay your meter, but it's Sunday and maybe you don't have to pay your meter on Sunday. Now you're at the back of the line. And it takes continued patience and prayer and perseverance and, whatever challenge you got to overcome to get yourself back to the front of the line. You know how you might be in queue. You call somewhere and they tell you, your call is the 5th call. So that means you're in queue. And then you get a text message from a friend who says, "Girl, why are you sitting there on hold in queue? They're going to have you waiting forever. And then you're going to get up there and ain't nobody going to be able to help you. Girl, just hang up and go online and you can get all that stuff done online." And then you hang up, you take yourself out of queue, you go online, and guess what? That option to do whatever it was that you needed is not available online. So now you have to call back, and now you're at the back of the queue. See, this is what happens to us with our blessings and with Allah. We get tricked and deceived by people who really don't want to see us blessed. So they trick us and cause us to get out of line. And then some of us, our egos are so big that once we get out of line, we out of line trying to justify why we out of line. So now we got actions and behaviors and all this stuff that we're doing that's justifying why we now are number 120 when we were number 1, or we were number 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, but we was there. We was in line. We were in queue. We were next up. But somebody tricked us. Now, that doesn't mean that's impossible for you to get back. It just means that now you got to work a little harder. You got to put in a little bit more effort. You got to now change the person that you are so that you become the person that can stay in queue and stay in line and avoid the deception that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in this prayer. So I'm going to read it again. "Oh Allah, please let me continue to be a believer, and let no man deceive me and take away my reward." And I'm not just talking about a believer in the big sense of the word, a believer in God, a believer in Jehovah or Allah. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a believer in your faith, the audacity of hope. See, because part of being a believer means that you are taking your life step by step and following the guidance of Allah. So even if you don't know why, even if you don't understand, you just go, looks like I'm supposed to go this way. Or it looks like I'm supposed to talk to this person. Or it looks like I'm supposed to make this phone call. Or I'm feeling really strongly in my mind that I'm supposed to call this person or work with this person. So you're following inspiration. You're following those thoughts that pop up in your mind. You're following the answers to your prayers. So as you're on that journey, as you're putting one step in front of the other, but you can't really see what you're stepping on, you're just walking because you have faith. Don't let somebody come along and deceive you and kick you out of line and put you out of queue. All right, so I'm gonna end with this. This is another saying from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Since Allah is the master, thee do we serve, and to thee do we beseech for help. I don't have no other one to help me but you. This is the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad talking to and about Allah. If I need help, I have to look to you. I don't serve anyone but you. I am in my proper place as a servant. You are well able to help me. That is why I am your servant. Guide me on the right path. Now, you have told Allah what path, which is the right path, the path that Allah blesses, the path of the righteous before me. Every word of the prayer means goods. This is from the sayings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so when he starts talking about the path, he starts talking about the straight path. See, when I start thinking about the straight path, I think about, as I'm going in my journey in life, the different sources of inspiration that I have and that I've had. And being steadfast. See, because I'm one of those persons, when I see a test coming, I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to flunk this test, Allah. Let me pass this. Let me prepare. Let me go study. What happened? How did they flunk in the past? Because I ain't flunking this time. I'm going to pass. You put this inspiration around me. You make a suggestion. Then your suggestion to me is an instruction. To me, there's no suggestion from Allah. There's no suggestion from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad or the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Their suggestions, their nods, their innuendos are instructions. Think on that. Think on that for a minute. So don't let nobody take you out of queue. Don't let nobody push you out of line and deceive you. Okay? I just want to say that to you. Stand in your space. It's your turn. Your turn is coming. But don't get out of line. Peace and blessings. Be sure to go to sajdahhouse.com. Put the discount code in HEM4847. Get your commemorative Elijah coin and support the renovation and restoration of the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Peace and blessings. And click the link in the bio to do that. There's also a lot of other good stuff in the bio, like you can listen to past episodes of the Mind of an Entrepreneur show. You can go to my YouTube channel and check out the Sajdah Saturday Morning Coffee Talks that you've missed. But most importantly, get up and do something for yourself. Peace.